Climate change is the most fundamental challenge humanity has ever faced, and it's also one that we're losing. So I believe that we do need a major acceleration in this regard. I cannot help but remember that the first report on climate change, on man-made climate change, was given to President Lyndon Johnson in 1965. If we were in 1965, we'd have time. We'd have time to discuss and negotiate. But since we haven't done much in over 50 years, it's time now to accelerate. And we need to accelerate with not only 1 foot, with 2 feet, 2 hands, with everything we have. So this is why the Italian government has decided that we want to go all out on making sustainable developments the trademark of everything kids will learn in all schools. As of September next year, we have approved a law that reintroduces a new module, if you will. Think about it as civic education. A new model of civic education in which the new responsible citizen of the future will be a sustainable citizen. Now, we have endorsed exactly the same approach as the UN SDGs. Economic, social, and environmental sustainability. We need to make sure that this becomes the trademark of any kind of education. So we're going to make it mandatory in all schools, at all levels, from grade 1 to the end of the mandatory obligatory schooling education. And then we have introduced the same in the first year of universities. We're working hand in glove with the Ministry of Environmental Affairs to make sure that, and with civil society organizations like the Earth Day Network, to make sure that we're going to have one dedicated day every year to the Environmental Education Day. So it's going to become a national holiday, if you will, a national moment of reflection. Education is a powerful weapon. I mean, you know, Nelson Mandela used to say that education is the most powerful weapon to change the world. And the fact that there are millions and millions of youth out there, some of them spoke here today, tells us that we do need to do something radically different, an incremental change, something which is disruptive. So the ambition of our country is to make sure that by introducing a new module in all schools that helps children understand the connections between economic, environmental, and social processes, which is what we desperately need, so that the economists of the future will not think, again, that it's possible to grow indefinitely on a finite planet. The engineers of the future will realize that every built environment needs to take into consideration the ecosystems in which it's placed, so that any scientist of the future will not operate in isolation, but will become a system thinker. So we do need this cultural revolution, if you will, and we, as the Italian government, will take the lead in encouraging as many other governments as possible to do the same, to show that there is a real commitment to making education the powerful weapon it can be. And we have already initiated conversations across the world, from South America to Europe, from Africa to North America, to make sure that education is no longer seen as a secondary tool, but it becomes one of the most disruptive and positive tools of change. So I'm very happy to be able to speak about this here at COP25, and I hope that by COP26, some of these commitments will not only have become a reality in Italy, but will have become a reality in a number of other countries, and perhaps hosting the youth pre-COP26 next year in our country. We're going to work very energetically towards making sure that as many governments as possible come on board. Thank you.